We'll just give another 1 minute or 2 minutes for rest of the audience to join, and then we can get started.
Yeah.
Raj, I guess we can get started, right?
Yep.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Very good morning. Welcome to the webinar, Extending Your OpenText Media Management Capabilities. This webinar is done in collaboration with Solix community and will be recorded for future reference. I'm Shweta Manasa Paluru. I've been associated with Acheron for the past 4 years as a project manager, and I will be your host for today's session. We have here our Director Pre-Sales, Mr. Raj Kumaran, and Mr. Gunanan Senvan, who is our Senior Product Manager. They'll be leading the session for today. In this session, we'll be discussing how our OpenText Media Management Search enhancements helps our customers to increase their ROI, and also how we expanded our connectors to Salesforce, Chili Publish, Brightcove, and others. This is going to be a 40-minute session followed by a Q&A section. So during the session, please feel free to drop in your questions, which will be taken by the end of the session. I hope you all have a very happy learning. I'm handing it over to you and to you, Raj.
Thanks, Shweta. So good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening for the people who are joining from different time zones. And thanks for making it. And to start with, right, I saw based on the analytics on the registration information that a lot of you people who are watching are first timers. So just want to give a brief intro about Acheron. From there, we'll get started, right? So to give an overview about Acheron, so we have been partners with OpenText, specifically technology partners, over a decade now. And we have worked across industries ranging from media and entertainment, print, packaging, utilities, food and beverages, manufacturing, finance, everything, right? So now, if you ask us, Raj, you say you have worked with so many industries, what's your core specialization, right? So if you ask us that question, I will highlight that, hey, we are specialized in designing and delivery of media-related workflows, specifically on your OpenText Media Management, connecting with any workflow systems like OpenText AppWorks, right? And if you ask us what we do package solutions on top of OpenText products, and we also provide consulting on top of it. So in a nutshell, we are partners with OpenText, Salesforce, AWS, and Chili, and we offer solutions are 360-degree, ranging from technology consulting, managed services, hosting, to package solutions, right? And if you see our footprints, we are heavily focused on North American region and Europe, and slowly expanding into Asia Pacific. About our physical offices, we are from India, currently located in Hyderabad, and we are a strong team of 80 plus, I say geeks, I could call that. And even though it's a strong team, everyone out here is a geek, and we love to tackle challenges and solve them, right? So that's a quick background about us. Now, coming to our products and key solutions and what we offer, see, just to highlight few. here are our key solutions. So one is our media project management solution, which is built on top of OpenText AppWorks and OpenText Media Management, where you would be able to manage your entire campaigns, projects related to your marketing and so on, right? So we also have a core solution for life sciences, which is called as MLR, Medical Legal Regulatory Review Process. So these are our key solutions. Now, apart from that, the star for today night or today morning, I would say, for the time zone, we would say that it's going to be our connectors for OpenText Media Management. So that includes connectors like Salesforce, Brightcove, and Chili Publish. So apart from this, what we also do is we offer consulting services for your media management, AppWorks, Salesforce, and Chili Publish. So maybe some of you here are new to Chili Publish, what it is. Maybe we will take a few minutes end of the session to talk more about it.
Right. That was a lovely and quick introduction, Raj, about our Acheron and the solutions and connectors that we are offering. And you touched upon the consulting services as well, right? On top of OTMM specifically. So here, right, would you like to I understand that the digital content is like a vast universe, right? And you are working with a lot of prospects and customers who are handling huge volumes of digital content on OTMM. Have you ever come across some of your prospects saying, Raj, how we are managing so much of content and we don't know how to get exactly what we are looking for. We are not able to find the exact content on OTMM. Such kind of challenges, have you come across, Raj?
This is one of our popular item, Guna, to be honest, right? So whenever we go and talk or give consultation to our DAM customers, right? So they have one common problem. They say, hey, we have been using DAM, OpenText DAM for almost, let's say 5 years or 7 years, or they could be coming from a different platform, just now migrated. They are dealing with a lot of volume of assets and size, right? Now, what happens with these customers, right? They come up with a couple of common problems. So to list them, right? One, how do you search it, right? Hey, OpenText Media Management provides a lot of capabilities from your keyword search, advanced search, faceted search, saved search. A lot of options are there. You can create collections and provide quick access. But ultimately, when you have or you are dealing with millions of assets as a volume, even though with all these things, it becomes more challenge, right? So how do you enhance the search experience and provide your end users with the assets what you are looking for? So that's been one of the main challenge, right? The next one, since a lot of people use DAM for their marketing content storage too, now you need to use those assets in your downstream channel, right? It could be physically printing them in advertisements, banners, or in an e-commerce site, or putting it in your marketing channels, Twitter handles, Facebook handles, so on. So probably they would be dealing with agencies, right? External vendors. And if they are having a global presence, that becomes more tricky because every region they would have something localized for the specific region. So how do you provide access to all these marketing contents which are already approved and sitting in your DAM to them, right? An external vendor who's an agency. So onboarding them, providing them access, how to do this process, it's being a challenge, right? So that's what I hear a lot when it comes to specifically on media management challenges.
Exactly. So this is like becoming a widespread problem, right? And it is becoming prominent nowadays with all these big organizations having a huge footprint all over the globe, right? And in this scenario, right, it is very important that we make the best use of whatever assets have been created and pushed into the OTMM so that we get a better ROI on each of these assets that are created. So what would be your solution or what would be your proposal for such kind of challenge, Raj?
Yeah, I think you were spot on your comment, right? So you want to make most out of the contents which is already there in your DAM. If you're not able to get what you're looking for, then the people are going to request for recreation, and that's going to involve cost and time, obviously. So that's really, really bad, and it will not be efficient process. So before going on to this, right, I want to quickly highlight something, right? So it's called DAM UX paradox. So let me tell you what it is. So let's say in earlier days, when DAM technology was evolving and it was at this, I would say, early stages, people were so focused to build a system which is friendly for your librarians or kind of admin people, right? So they wanted to have a beautiful UI which helps these people to go and bulk ingest a lot of assets and bring those things into the system. But it was never intended for your end users, like your agency people or other people, to come search for it, access them, and download it or publish it downstream, right? So it started evolving, right? And from there, now it's like software companies are finding a middle ground between both the parties. Your admins, your librarians on one side, on another side, your consumers, like your external vendors and other people, right? It could be your internal employees too. So they want to find out a balance where they satisfy both. But to be honest, you can't make both of the people happy, right? You have to either do this or do that. If you're standing in between, it's in between. So we can't make them happy. So that's the damn UX paradox. Where to go is what the software industry is struggling. And eventually this is going to evolve, and we are going to improve it, and we will make sure that both the audiences are happy. So one such step, what we did for one of our customers, is to enhance their search experience. So let me tell you a quick example, right? So Guna, let's do this, right? So let's say we are having our marketing media project management system, right? So let's say our marketing team comes into our DAM and they want to search something like, hey, latest marketing project management videos. I type in this and hit enter, right? So that's one step. I do it, right? So as soon as I do it, media management is going to list me all the assets which are related to these keywords, right? But it does not understand I'm looking for just videos, right? Even though I said videos, it's not going to understand that, right? And I also put in something called latest. That is also something which today OpenText Media Management is not able to understand. So they have to go in and do extra steps, like go into your facets filter and click on filter saying that content type is equal to just videos.
Yeah, so that will be step 2, right?
Correct. Right. So that's step 2. Then what we have to also do is you have to go to the options like sort, which you click on it and say, I want to sort by the ingested date or the imported date and say descending. Right. So that's step 3.
Yeah.
Correct. So overall, if you see, even though we say 3 steps, scrolling, finding out those specific field and applying those filters, it's time consuming. And if you have configured a lot of fields, then it's going to be a big problem for people who are doing it for the first time or non-frequent users, right? So the time spent here in this UI would be really great. So what we did for our customers, right? So we did integrate OpenText Media Management Search with natural language processing. It's called NLP, or you can call it as NLQ, natural language querying. So what it does, right? So it's the same thing. We just brought in an intermediate layer to handle this. So with this in place, what happens is you type in the same keyword, let's call it latest MPM videos, right? Once you do this, it understands what you mean by latest, right? So it automatically sorts your result by imported date in descending order and shows that, right? And when you say videos, it also understands that, right? So it automatically filters your response with just video content type and provides that. Now your 3-step process became just one. You type in your keyword and hit enter, you got your results, right? So that's
and obviously your result will be like more filtered towards what you're actually focused on, rather than showing millions of assets. It will be showing just maybe thousands of assets.
Correct. right? So we can even configure it to understand what's your specific brand or category, whether it's a marketing assets, those lookup domain values, whatever you have configured in your DAM, those things, this particular plugin can automatically identify that. And based on the keyword, what you type, even though it has spelling mistake or incorrect spelling, it all tackles that, right? It understands what you are trying to search and provides you the results.
Cool. Yeah, that's interesting to see, right? And this obviously enables such companies to actually make best advantage of the OTMM, right? And Raj, I also understand you touched upon external user onboarding and stuff like that. So I would like to,
Right.
sorry, let me put it this way, right? We all would like to know what is that you're working on in enabling this external user onboarding within OTMM, Raj.
Sure. Right. So to say right on this, I will say something like this, right? Let's say we want to onboard an external vendor, right, into OTMM or any of your OpenText platform, maybe, right? This solution can work with any of your OpenText platform, not just OTMM, right? In this case, we are going to just talk about and limit it to media management as for the conversation. So let's say probably the vendor or the external person would drop an email to your team who handles everything, right? Saying that, hey, I'm so-and-so from this agency, and I would like to have access to your DAM for these purpose, right? They will provide their email address, everything, right? The contact information and everything. So once done, the user would probably need to make sure that request is legitimate and they do personally know the person, or verify, do a background check and all those process. Once done, they have to now submit a ticket with their IT team to create so-and-so user, right? It could be on their local AD, or it could be cloud identity providers like Azure AD or Okta or whatever it may be, right? So once this is done, they have to push this user to OpenText Directory Services, OTDS, right? So already we are like, say, step 3 or step 4 now.
Yeah, and this is not going to be like on a same day, right? It's going to take
Correct.
a couple of days because it goes through different teams, obviously.
Exactly. And from OTDS, again, that's not the end, right? You have to push them, consolidate it with your resource, which is your media management or any other OpenText platform. And once that is done, you have to assign them with appropriate roles or groups or so on. So once all these things are done, you have to mail back to the requested person saying that, hey, we have created your account, this is your temporary password, and all those things. So
And this is just your happy path scenario, right?
Correct.
We're not talking about the other.
Correct.
Okay.
So let's say if the email ID what they provided is not their, they have in case sent their personal email ID, all these back and forth communications are there. So if you take this process itself, it's becoming tedious. Now, let's say you want to handle something like 4 or 5 users in a week. Yeah, your time is gone on this, right? We are not able to focus what adds value or what's the business vision, right? So that's why we worked upon a solution for onboarding users. So in a nutshell, what we can do is we have a utility or a plugin which can work with your media management jobs or workflow system itself, or it can work with your AppWorks, right? It would be fast, easy, and a secure way where we would provide an online form as per your requirements, where people can go and register themselves, self-register. And once that is done, there would be a review and approve task sent to the approvers, right? They would be able to review everything, make sure everything is good, and say, I'm approving this, done, right? Behind the scene, all the process of user creation to assigning roles and consolidating it, everything is automated. Even the step of sending mail to the registered user saying that this is your account, temporary user ID, password, all that. So everything is automated.
And it's all in one system, right? Instead of having your emails
Correct.
separately and then your jobs in OTMM separately, it's all there in one system.
Correct. So that's a good point, right? So that's why you would be able to easily audit what's happening, monitor what's happening, and take a statistical data out of it. Hey, in a week, how many people are requesting so, right? What's happening? You have everything on your fingertip, right? And just to highlight that, this plugin can work with third-party software too, not just OpenText, right? So that's what the advantage what we have.
That's nice.
Right?
Yeah.
So to summarize what we talked about, I think I already took 20 minutes of the time. I think we have talked about our consulting services, what we are doing with OpenText Media Management specifically, and so on, right? But let's now switch the gears. Why don't we talk about the connectors, our products, what we offer for Salesforce, Brightcove, and Chili, right? So what a better person to talk about it. We have our product manager, Guna, here. So over to you, Guna.
Thank you, Raj. Definitely. So let me take control and yeah. So before we jump into these Salesforce connectors, right, let me just give a brief about what this solution looks like from a solution point of view. So we built this, Acheron built the connectors, and it is sold by OpenText and obviously supported on any technical front by both OpenText and Acheron. And like I told, we have two exclusive connectors to OTMM, one for the Salesforce Sales Cloud and the other for the Marketing Cloud. So the Salesforce Sales Cloud, we call it SFDC connector to OTMM, and the Salesforce Marketing Cloud, we call it SFMC connector to OTMM. And let me dive deep into each of these one by one. So first, let me start with the Sales Cloud connector, SFDC connector. So what does this do? This basically brings the OTMM assets available on OTMM to the place where actual sales people are accessing the Salesforce and want to share content to people or contacts on Salesforce. So basically, it is like you can access OTMM as a Salesforce user from within Salesforce in the context of any of these, right? Your accounts, records, or your leads based records, or even your custom objects within Salesforce. So that is what this connector does. And I'll make it more clear by taking you through a quick example, right? So that it is easily understandable. Now, let's say I'm a salesperson. I am working on a specific lead, and I am in a stage where I need to share some product related information to this particular lead. Okay. So what I would normally do as a Salesforce person, I'll go into Salesforce, log in, and go to the leads record, leads object, and open the record and see in what stage it is, see the details of this record. And then I now understand that I have to share some content to this. So in normal practice, I will go to OTMM again, download the content that I'm looking for from there, and then come back to this lead. I'll create a task and attach this content and share it with that lead, right? So that is the switching between Salesforce and OpenText, logging here separately, login there separately, and all those things, right? So this tedious things, right, we are trying to avoid by having this OTMM here within this lead itself. So now as a Salesforce user, right, when I'm inside my the lead which I'm working on currently, I also see a tab called Media Widget here, right? So what is this basically is it brings the OTMM and opens the OTMM from this lead itself. So when I click on this Media Widget, it brings all the content that have been uploaded by different people who are also working parallelly, simultaneously on the same lead. And I also can parallelly upload content. Say, like for example, I have a customized content on my file, local file system. I want to upload it. I can just click on upload, or I can drag and drop the content directly into this folder, and it will get uploaded into this specific folder, which is meant for this lead. And this is stored inside OTMM. I can also pull records which are, files which are there on OTMM and reference it here without duplicating it, right? So that is also possible with this connector.
So using this, I think you are circumventing the storage limitations of Salesforce, correct?
Definitely, yes. So we are only leveraging the OTMM storage here. So we don't have to spend on Salesforce storage as well.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and from here, right, once the content is here inside this, when I want to share some content to the lead, in the process of this lead conversion to a prospect, right? I can just click on the content and it will open share assets, and we can just directly share it from here. So it is as simple as that, right? You need not shuffle between different applications just to do a simple task of sharing a content to a lead. So it's just as simple as that. And to summarize, right, let me just summarize the benefits of this connector. It obviously saves a lot of time shuffling between two different applications. It avoids duplication by the single source of truth being OpenText Media Management. So you don't have to basically duplicate content here and there. And as a single source of truth, right, you can go and audit all the where used or whereabouts of the assets from within OTMM itself. So that way it avoids duplication. And it also reduces a lot of errors, right? Because all your rights management and the appropriateness of the content being the latest and greatest and all those things have been handled by OTMM already. And you get access only to approved content. So you don't have an opportunity of making error by circulating some content which is not yet approved, which is still in the pipeline of review and approval process. So that way,
and most importantly, old version assets, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So you don't see the old versions over there in OTMM, right? You get only the latest versions here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is a quick walkthrough on Salesforce Sales Cloud Connector. Let me just quickly jump into the Marketing Cloud Connector. So we all know that Marketing Cloud is the #1 marketing platform, and let me not spend much time on this. Similar to what we spoke about the SFDC connector, right? So this connector also enables the marketing users, Salesforce Marketing Cloud users, to access OTMM content from within their Salesforce Marketing Cloud user experience itself. So the same experience basically. So let me just walk through an example so that it becomes more obvious and clearer, right? So in this case, right, I am a marketing person working on promoting a specific fireside chat. As always, I have with Raj, right? We are teaming up and doing a fireside chat, and I'm preparing a content that I need to share to all my people who are interested on MPM, because this fireside chat is going to be MPM related fireside chat. Okay, so I go inside Content Builder and I start creating the content for this. Now, what I do is so when I get into the Content Builder, I see all the templates that are already there. I can either use one of these templates or I can go and create a new template. So let's say I'm opening an existing template, which I was working on, and then now I need to add few more content to this. So here you see, right, I've added all this information. The speakers are Raj and Guna. And oh, sorry, I've missed adding the host, Sweta, right? So she's going to get mad at this. And looking at this time also, right, she's going to get really mad. 5:30 p.m. CST is going to be like early morning for her. That's okay, we can manage her, right? She always supports us with this kind of support, right?
And for your information, she is a night owl.
Yeah, for sure, Guna. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so let's say we want to add a image that is there on OTMM and it is related to NPM, right? So when I click on this image frame here, right, what happens next is it opens up this left side menu where I have all these components which I can drag and drop to fill this content. So the content that I'm looking for is inside the prod OTMM of my organization's OTMM instance. So when I drag and drop this here, what it does is it opens up the OTMM in my left side menu. That particular OTMM instance, it opens up in my left side menu where I can do all the OTMM search and all those class setting filters and all those things are available here within my Salesforce Marketing Cloud itself. So I can go search, apply filters and locate the content. And when I have the content with me, by clicking on the more options, I'll get this drop down and I can click on this push to Content Builder, which will immediately move this content to the highlighted frame. Just as simple as that, right? Instead of shuffling between two different systems and all those things. And when I'm happy with this, so here, right, I would also like to highlight that we have basic cropping and editing features also within this. So you can just do a cropping, you can make the content suit your layout, right? Without impacting the actual original content that is there on OTMM. So it will just make a copy, it will make a AMD adjustments on top of whatever is the original content. And once I'm happy with this content, I can just click on done editing and my template is ready. Right. And from here, it is like just going and publishing it or attaching an email subscriber list to this and then triggering a campaign, email campaign, which will be handled by the Marketing Cloud user experience. So as easy as that. And to quickly summarize on the benefits, like as always, this reduces a lot of swapping around between two different applications. So it increases the productivity of the marketing team. And this also retains a single source of truth as restricted to OTMM. And here again, like you told, right, here also we are saving a lot of space. Right. We don't have to leverage the Salesforce storage space. And again, this is also reducing a lot of risks and errors because we have access to the latest and greatest and approved content, which is there on OTMM. Yeah, and now coming to a quick glimpse as to where we are at the moment on these Salesforce connectors. Both these connectors are Salesforce certified and OpenText Cloud certified. So we support this container platform also. And since these are Salesforce certified, these are available on Salesforce App Exchange as well.
Okay. Maybe with your permission, Guna, right? This is really great, but I want to make an announcement here, right? Or give a sneak peek for the audience. So we saw connectors for Sales Cloud and Marketing Cloud. To just give a sneak peek, we are also working on a connector for Experience Cloud, and that should be out shortly.
Yeah. Thanks, Raj, for peeking into whatever I was trying to say. And yeah, obviously, yes. So we are extending our support on to Experience Cloud as well. Yeah. So now, Raj, now that we have spoken about Salesforce connectors, right? We all know that you are the master of Brightcove connector. So would you like to just take a brief walkthrough on what this Brightcove connector is and how we can use it?
Sure, definitely. Right. All right. For people who are new and are hearing the Brightcove for the first time, let me just give a small brief about it. See, Brightcove is an online video streaming platform, right? So what we would be able to do is we would be able to upload our videos on the platform, and from there you would be able to publish it to downstream channels so that you can provide better streaming experience, something like that, right? And along with that, what it also provides us a more advantage than just configuring a normal CDN on your cloud or something like that. You'd be able to configure custom players. Let's say you want to disable fast forward option or playback speed and those kinds of options, which is available by your normal HTML video player provided by your browser. So you can have a lot of controls what an user can or cannot with these custom players. And you can configure what type of player needs to be loaded for specific device, right? If you are loading it on a smartphone, smart TV, or a tab, or a desktop, right? You can customize what needs to be the experience looks like. And at last, those players can be embedded in your downstream channel and published. So that's a brief about what's Brightcove. Now, coming to our connector, what we are doing with it, right? So let's take an example. So let's say my team wants to go and publish a video about MPM in our Twitter or a website or something, right? So typically what they would do is anything which is available for me as an approved content, it's there already in DAM, right? So we follow that process. So now once that's there, I need to go and download that, put it on our website, storage, put it in our CDN one, and take those URLs and put it in our player, right? And if you want to have some custom playbacks, configure analytics, all these things are extra steps, right? Or if you want to do it with Brightcove, you have to download it, go to Brightcove, upload it again, configure everything, take the URL or the embedded code and put it to our website and publish it. So this is so much big process, right? Manual, different screens. You need to bring in multiple parties. But what if you are able to do something like this? So I have an approved content here. You just simply click options. I want to send it to Brightcove. Done, right? So what it does is it takes care of pushing your content to Brightcove along with your metadata, right? So what you see here are custom fields coming from your OpenText Media Management. So tomorrow you want to search with your campaign ID or your kind of an product name, what you are trying to publish inside Brightcove, all these search works, right? It's all synchronized between two systems. So that happens. Now you might ask, hey Raj, you are saying that you would copy the content, right? I don't want it to copy it. I want to make it single source of truth and just use my already existing CDN configuration in AMD of OpenText and use that to share it, right? So we also provide that option too. So you click on option and say, I want to put it via Brightcove remote asset, right? So what it does is it does the same, but this time when it publish, it creates only the metadata only asset inside Brightcove, and it provides your asset source as your AMD URL, right? So you can see here, it says that this is the source which is pointing to your OpenText Media Management's AMD. Now, so what happens is with this, you use your existing CDN network. So it always points to the latest version, and you delete or take down any video from OpenText, it automatically updates here, right? Versioning, it is automatically taken care of. All these advantage you get. But also what we support now with the latest version is, even though you copy a version and publish it to Brightcove, we still support takedown and validity of all those contents, right? So that's the option what you have. So important thing right now, next question would be, okay, Raj, you have published to Brightcove. How do you copy the embed code? Should I go back to Brightcove again, right? Not required. So once it's published, there would be an indicator or a label in your card view saying that it's available in Brightcove. So once that label comes up, you should be able to go and see the video details of your asset, right? So it's going to bring up something like this, and you can select pre-configured player, which is already configured, right? And say what kind of player you want to use here. So based on your selection, it provides you the embed code. Now you can take this and use it on your downstream channel, as easy it is, right? Now it's all done, right? It's published, you put it on your downstream website or any of your marketing channels. Now, how do you check your analytics, right? So that too we have brought within OTMM. So you click on the video analytics details for the specific video, and we provide a report for you. Live coming from Brightcove, synchronized with your OpenText Media Management, so that you can combine with other statistics which is already available and move it, take it forward. So to summarize, with the Brightcove connector, you would be able to publish video assets to Brightcove. It takes care of metadata synchronization between both platforms, analytics within your OTMM, right? You can see everything in single place, and you can get your embed code for your player within OpenText Media Management itself, right? Last but not least, with the latest version, even though you do not use the remote asset capability, you would be still able to take down or delete when you delete something within your OpenText Media Management, and you can configure your expire workflows. So that's what we provide, Guna.
Cool. Interesting, Raj.
Right. So I think, Shweta, we still have 5 more minutes to go. Maybe why don't you, Guna, maybe let's as promised, we will talk about what is Chili Publish and what we do there, and also talk about our Chili Publish connector for OTMM, right? So
definitely, yes, Raj. So before we get into what specifically is this connector all about, I'll just give a brief about Chili Publish. Most of us have known Chili Publish for quite some time, but for those who are new to this Chili Publish term, right? Let me give a brief about this. So think of Chili Publish like your smart template editor, right? So like when we designers, right? Designers create complex designs, layouts with a lot of content, text content, image content, logos, branding, and all those stuff on the layout, right? And when we want to do some small changes, do some localization, you don't want to again pay heavy package to the designer to do such small contents, right? So what Chili Publish has done is they have created smart templates where all these layouts, which are designed by professional designers, are put in place properly. And this template is now given to the business users so that they can easily and quickly modify small information without impacting the bigger aesthetics of the layout, and then quickly publishing it or quickly reviewing and approving it and all those things. So that is what Chili Publish is all about. And before I actually give what is the connector doing, let me just give a brief on the benefits so that we are able to relate it when I take you through the use case that we have, we wanted to show you, right? So on the benefits, right? This gives this Chili Publish, bringing Chili Publish smart templates also within your OTMM gives you a one-shop experience, right? So you have all your assets which you're actually going to use inside Chili Publish templates. Also, they're residing in OTMM, and your templates also are there in OTMM. So you just go and treat your smart templates very similar to what you are doing on assets. So you can go search for smart templates. You can do apply filters, facets, and all those things. You can open a smart template and edit it within your OTMM itself, and then trigger a workflow which takes it through an approval process also from within OTMM. So it gives a single one-shop experience for OTMM users, right? And so that is what we have here as the benefits of integrating these two masters in the field, in their respective fields. And I would take you through a quick example case, right? So that it gives more weightage. So here, right, I'm inside OTMM and I'm trying to open a template, smart template. So here I'm able to see my assets also here and my templates also here. So when I click on a template, I get an additional option which allows me to open this template in a Chili editor. And when I click on this open in Chili editor, what happens is it opens that particular template within the Chili editor, Chili Publish editor itself. So here, right, like I told, you can see all these frames basically. So text frames, image frames, branding, and you see the margins, all these things applied, and these are done by professionals. Now, what I am intending to do here is to maybe change the language here. Instead of English, I want to say have French or Spanish or whatever. And that can be easily done by just going and changing a variable that is set here. So all these things have been wired in such a way that Chili editor takes care of all these aspects. And I, as a business user, just need to go and change some variables here, and I get the content ready for further processing. And from here, right, if it is going to be a major change, I can also trigger an approval workflow. So once I save that modified content, it triggers an approval workflow which goes and sits on my jobs in OTMM, and it goes through the approval workflow. And for the approver also, right, when they open this content, it will open in Chili editor, where they get to annotate, share comments, give feedback, and all those things, and they can directly approve or reject from within their task from there. So once they approve it, it's obviously going to get published and available for downstream consumers to take this and print it or publish it in a website or some whatever. So just as easy as that. Yeah, I think we've hit the clock, and so I would like to hand it over back to Sweta. Over to you.
Thanks, Raj and Guna, for an interactive and engaging session. I'm sure it was insightful. And also thanks for wrapping it on time. It was spot on with it. Now let's jump to the Q&A section. I see there are a couple of questions from the audience. So while we take the questions, maybe the rest of the audience can feel free to drop in further queries as well over the chat. So let's take the first question from Barbara. So the question is regarding the Salesforce connector, do you guys copy the asset or use AMD for it?
Yeah,
you want to take it, Guna? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So like you said, right, we leverage adaptive media delivery, AMD. So it is not getting copied. It is only the URL, AMD URL configured appropriately, which will take care of not duplicating the assets in multiple places. So that is the core, right? You want to have a single source of truth, which means you don't want to duplicate content.
Yeah.
Hope this answered your question.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks, Guna. So there's one more question from John. So the question is, let's say we wanted to implement the NLQ search for OTMM. Will you override the default OTMM code? And will it also affect the upgrades?
Okay, that's a good one, right? So probably when everyone hearing it for the first time, they would think we are customizing so much, but that's not the case. What OpenText Media Management provides is it provides us to extend the search capability and write our own algorithm, right? So that's where we have extended the default keyword search provided by OpenText, and we have implemented the plugin which can do your natural language processing. So this is upgrade safe. We are not overriding any product level code, and until and unless they move out of any other technology to Solar, to any other different technology, this should work. So that's what it is.
Thanks, Raj. John, I hope that answer your question. If there's anything, you may feel free to put it in the chat. So Raj and Guna, let's give a minute for the rest of the audience. If there's any questions, we'll just take them.
Sure.
Okay, I see there's a question from Foster. Is Brightcove be integrated with any other? Okay, can the Brightcove be integrated with any other framework?
The connector for you mean you want to integrate with any other platform with OpenText, or do you want to connect with any other DAM? Is that the question? If I assuming that is it is, at this moment it's not available as a product, right? So you can definitely reach out to us. We can talk more on your specific needs, what you want to integrate with, and we can definitely do that, right? So we have an expert team here who have specialized knowledge on how we can integrate with Brightcove and all those things. So please reach out to us and we would be able to help you, and we are always happy for it.
So what Raj meant is like a Brightcove connector to OTMM is a product, and we do not have it connecting to any other DAM. So if you want, we can help you is what he was meaning.
Yeah, thanks, Kunal.
Yeah, I think that brings us to the end of the session. Could you please go to the next slide, Raj? Yeah, so this is our contact information. So please feel free to get in touch with us if you have any further queries with respect to our products. We'll be more than happy to have a private demo of our connectors too, if that helps you. Thank you, everyone, for a wonderful session.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.